Hey folks, welcome to Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. There's a lot going on in the garden these days, so I thought we'd do a mid-April garden tour. Let's take a look. Over here on my gardening junk pile in my garage underneath my lights, I have my sweet potatoes putting on slips pretty impressively. Look at that. So I got another few weeks of these to sit in water and grow some slips for me to plant. Then I'll break those slips off of there and put them in water, let them develop a larger root system, and then we'll plant them out. I also have slips on the way for some different varieties coming to me. So we'll have 3 different varieties of sweet potatoes going in for the summer crop. And we're looking for food staples. This is what Sam and I did in a previous video. But I'm going to put together an entire sweet potato video, but I wanted to show you the process right now. Pretty impressive, beautiful plants. So doing a germination test, I harvested a bunch of turnip seed. I let my turnips go to seed, and I've placed them in this bag with a moist paper towel. There are 39 seeds in there that I took from 4 pods taken from different plants on my dried turnips, just to see if they would sprout. I wanted to know if I harvested these seeds too early, and I wanted to see if it was worth saving these seeds, and it looks like they're starting to sprout, man. It's less than 24 hours and they're each swelling, so I think they're mature enough to harvest. Let me show you my seeds. My plants, I took up several of them, and along here you can see the seed pods, and they're dry and getting real crispy in my garage. And I think the larger ones are probably the better ones, but I've got enough seed here for next year's turnips. I really like this Japanese red turnip. Isn't that interesting, huh? Yeah, so I let them go to seed, and we're gonna plant those again. Raking the grass? Yeah. It's like combing the hair of the yard. Phoebe, you can't run. Phoebe had to go to the vet. Phoebe lost a toenail. You lost a toenail and you were bleeding and we couldn't stop it. You had to go to the vet. It cost me a lot of money and it was very traumatic. Hey, psst. Your toenail was broke all the way to the bone. No, ma'am.
Do we still know if the bone was broken?
We don't know, and the vet said if the bone is broken, there's nothing they could do anyway. That's why she can't run. Over here are all my refugees, the bee teamers. These are plants that didn't have a home when I up-potted things, so I just kind of threw them in these 2 recycle bins with some mulch and soil in there, and they've taken off. I've got a bunch of beans coming up. I'm not sure what they are, but I think those might be dragon tongues. I kind of remember throwing some extra seed in there to see if they would grow. But that tomato plant's coming up real well. Pepper plants. I've already got peppers in here. Look at this. I don't remember what kind these are, but hey, I'll take peppers. There's another one down there. Look at that. Like bonus food right there. That's cool. My hilling potatoes. These are russet potatoes from the grocery store. We had some that started putting on some leafage, and so I put them out here in this, and we're going to hill them up as they grow. This is different from the Determinates that we planted in our other bins. So yeah, that's encouraging. Figs are all looking healthy. This guy over here, in a previous tour, I showed you that this one was suffering a little bit, and it had a lot of leaves turning yellow. Most of those leaves have been dropped off. I gave it some nitrogen, fish fertilizer, and you can see all the leaves are perking up and the new growth is really strong and dark. So you got to stay on top of a fig tree. They can get root bound after 2 or 3 years in these things. And though I've done some root pruning on some of my trees, some of them I haven't. And to be honest with you, I don't remember which ones I did and which ones I didn't. This is likely one that I didn't mess with. And it probably needs to be either up potted or root pruned, because that's a small pot. Some of these plants absorb water and transpire water. Like that guy, he's looking a little sad. I would water, but it's about to rain and he'll get a drink and perk up. All the rest of the tomatoes are looking great. Look at this, I got fruit coming in over here like crazy. Look at all that. I mean, from here all the way down, it's like a cascade of fruit, and they're starting to change color now. This is a micro variety, just like this, and these micros are setting fruit. I'm so excited. Some of these onions are starting to bulb up, and some of them aren't, so that's good. Keep mulch around them. These are Texas Legend. They're a yellow onion, and over there I've got some purple onions, Creole purple. or Creole red. So yeah, they're starting to look a little stressed out, but they're starting to bulb up, and that's all I need them to do. Got my tomatillos coming in, putting on blossoms. My kale over there, I just decided to let that guy grow. I mean, he's putting on new leaves down where I've harvested, so that's an encouraging plant. That's such a regal and royal plant that I've decided just to leave it. Down here, my stripy guy. This is it's a Neapolitan. I don't even remember what the name is, but it's an Italian zucchini. I call them stripy guys. Look at that, it's beautiful. And I've got some coming in. That makes me real happy. Look at these guys.
These have a little bit of
getting a lot of fruit down there.
puzzliness to it.
Get some fruit on those over there. We're going to be eating zucchini soon. Okay, so these are my dragon tongue bush beans, and they're starting to put on blossoms. So we'll be into some beans in a few weeks. That's good. I probably need to give these guys a good balanced fertilizer. They're a little yellow. They look like they could use some nitrogen. But also, since they're blossoming, I want to make sure I give them a pretty balanced fertilizer. These are pole beans along here and all along there. This is my soil that's a little compromised. It's got a little too much hot manure in it that wasn't composted down. So a lot of things that I planted, like that squash over there, they're not growing. That squash should look like that squash by now. They were planted at the same time. Some of the tomatoes are struggling along as well. But the mustard started to grow really fine now. So I'm pleased with that. But I'm probably going to use this space for something else. What do you think we should put in there, Sam? We should put some watermelon right there.
Watermelon?
Watermelon. Some watermelon. I got 2 varieties we could plant. Let those vines sprawl out in there. I think watermelon's a good idea.
Watermelon.
These 2 barrels are waiting for my sweet potato slips to come. We've got a purple Japanese and a white sweet potato, and I'm going to put them in there. But I've got other sweet potato plants. Ben right here will receive my sweet potato slips that we've started ourselves from store-bought sweet potatoes. And I'll put a little more soil in there, and hopefully we'll get, 10 good-sized sweet potatoes out there, maybe a little more. This is also designed to help deter my dog from running along the fence barking at the neighbor dog. Put an obstacle in her way. My red Lasota Determinate tomatoes are looking great. I did have to water them. They started looking a little sad down here and got a little wilty because the storm that came through a few days ago blew them down and really did a number on them. And you can see there's something chewing on these, and I don't know what it is. I've sprayed neem oil on here. I've put slug repellent down in there, so that should cover my bases unless I've got just a really persistent caterpillar or something. But I can't find it, and it seems to be spreading. So hopefully these potatoes and their growth can outpace the pests that are on them. That's the hope. So yeah, you can see there's good growth over here and not a lot of holes except down low. That's why I thought it was slugs and snails. I think that's what that was. But it sure has a caterpillar look to it, doesn't it? Especially down in here. What do you think that is? Attacking a potato plant and ruining the leaves down low. I think that's slug damage. I could be wrong. Well, I think we've arrested it. I don't see any new damage since I sprayed neem oil. And yeah, that's the one that alarmed me the most. I thought that looks caterpillary. So I'll put neem oil in there. I underestimated the watering requirements here, and I just kind of let them alone, but I needed to come out and give them a drink today, and they've perked up. 2 big eggplants coming up right there. That's a little mini black eggplant. Tomatoes are looking great. Man, I'm so happy about those tomatoes. There's another eggplant down in there. Yeah, this is a happy place for me. I tied up some of my lima bean vines so that the wind was really doing a number on them. But I'll come in here and just loop them around and let them, I'm just going to kind of let them go at this point. Flowers coming up nice. Herbs coming up nice. Basil, flowers, cilantro, flowers, peppers, and those are all peppers. Yeah. Here we've got radishes. This is my favorite radish, and you can see they're bulbed up. Like most of them are bulbed up, but they're also bolting. So I have to make a decision. I can let those bolt and grow some and get some seed, and I think I might let a few of them grow to seed. But if I want to eat these radishes, now's the time to do it. They'll start getting woody as they start to bolt. Look at that guy. Yeah. But over here I've got some squashes. These are Table King. They're like a butternut type squash, and these are said to be bush squashes. I might have to thin, that's pretty tight spacing. And then along here I'll put some more pole beans that will eventually live on some poles right in here. And I'll probably use this space once these guys are out to, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. My original plan had some peppers in here. I might stick to that plan. Oh, got it. Squash is coming in on the pumpkin pit here quite nicely. This one I have determined is not a good spot for a pumpkin pit. It'll grow, but they're kind of in the shade. Later in the season this won't be in the shade, but right now it's almost always in the shade, so it's just getting indirect light. So you can see those plants aren't thriving, while these over here are thriving. These are my cantaloupes. They're doing well. They're going to need to be thinned soon, but they're not big enough where I need to worry about thinning them yet. They're not really competing too much with each other so much as if they get bigger they will. But I've got 5 nice plants there coming in. The lasagna garden over here that I started a few weeks ago, or a week ago, not thriving. Those eggplants are not thriving. There's too much nitrogen. There's too much unfinished compost in there for them. One of the tomatoes looks like it's struggling along, but the other 2 are doing fine. These are trimmings I rooted, and I don't think that's going to make it, but it might surprise us. I'll leave it there. There was another one over there too. But yeah, this is really just a future project, but if you're going to make a future garden, you might as well plug some things in and see if they'll grow. I think squashes would grow in here just fine. Lemons are coming on strong. These fruits will be harvested way off in December. But yeah, that's a lot of fruit. Tons of fruit. I thought I'd give you a little update on my pumpkin pits that I put in on the side of my house in the front yard. This is a Kogigu pumpkin, and I have 3 good healthy plants growing in that one, and over there I've got 5 plants, and I'll have to trim those down to 3 once I figure out which ones are doing the best. But yeah, they're really thriving out here. It's a beautiful pumpkin. I have high hopes. I've started them about a month and a half earlier than I did last year, and hopefully we can get some pumpkins before the vine borers get to these guys. And I gave them a drink today of some fish fertilizer, and they really perked up a lot. Yeah, pumpkin pits. There's some real nasty stuff down in about 1.5 foot deep in there. If you haven't seen my video, I'll link it for you right up there. So there we go, a little bit of a look around and see what's going on. A bit of a garden tour, seeing all the seedlings come up, seeing things put on fruit. Yeah, it's been a wonderful garden this year. I'm starting to have some trouble with what I think is a disease in my lima beans. I'm not sure what it is yet. I'm still researching and trying to find out. But I think I got some kind of either fungal or viral or bacterial disease. I don't think it's spider mites. It doesn't present itself that way, and I can't find any insects. My potatoes, I think that I finally conquered the mollusk problem. They were eating my potatoes, and while I was over there looking at them, I dug down and man, they're putting on potatoes for me. I'm so excited. But yeah, things are moving along. Thanks for joining me on Black Gumbo. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and like us on Instagram and Facebook. Talk to you next time, and happy gardening. Bye-bye.